Star Wars is a series of movies loved by many people all across the entire continent of Austria. It's a series dedicated to telling a fateful story about love, hate, friendship, Jar Jar Binks, love, hate, and sand. Star Wars is the ultimate movie for the whole family. It's got the whole package. Murder, treason.
It's treason, then.
A man literally burning to death. Jar Jar Binks stepping in feces. And sand. Groovy. Juicy. And sand. Groovy. Hell yeah. Groovy. Hell yeah. And sand. Incredible. Groovy. I don't believe my ears. Groovy. So the first movie is called The Phantom Menace, and it came out in 1999, and it stars Liam Neeson, Ewan McGregor, Natalie Portman, Jake Lloyd, Liam Neeson, Ahmed Best, Liam Neeson, Ian McDermott, Liam Neeson, and Sam. The movie opens on some yellow text. I don't know, just skip it, I guess. The first thing we lay eyes on is a space car harboring space knights. The space knights are trying to board the ship of two friendly space frogs because the space knights want to crack open a cold one with the boys. The Space Knights are of course greeted by the famous cameo of Tin Man from the famous movie The Wizard of Oz. Now, since Liam Neeson is a psychopath, he of course reveals this to the audience.
I don't sense anything.
And since Tin Man realizes that Liam Neeson is a psychopath, he of course tells this to the Space Frogs, who no longer want to crack open a cold one with the boys. The Space Frogs talk to their master, Space Ghost, about what to do with the two knights. Cause of course they don't want to be rude and just throw them out before even sharing a single cold one, and Space Ghost of course answers with his known catchphrase.
Kill them immediately.
Since the Space Knights are racist against robots, they immediately cut them down right where they stand. It's a tragic thing to see. They see that the Space Frogs are manufacturing tons and tons of droids, and since they are racist, they don't want that to happen. We now get introduced to our hero of the story, Jar Jar Binks. Jar Jar is a space lizard, and he immediately gets taken as a slave by Liam Neeson. Jar Jar is of course too scared to resist.
Mr. Your humble servant.
Jar Jar lives underwater in a secret town. The town is CG animated, which we all know is invisible to space frogs, which is how they hide from them. Oh wow! The Space Knights try to use terrorism to persuade the space lizards to get them to kill the droids. Oh wow! But since the space lizards are such proud and strong folk, they refuse. Oh, wow. But then Liam Neeson is like, "Oh man, can you at least give us a ride to Natalie Portman?" And the space lizards agree to that, cause they are cool dudes. Hell yeah! Liam Neeson, being the psychopath that he is, takes our hero Jar Jar Binks as his hostage because he wants to look badass in front of Natalie Portman. But before they arrive at Natalie Portman's house, they emerge from a space cave in a space lake after almost getting space eaten by a space fish. Meanwhile, the droids are traveling through the Windows XP background to also get to Natalie Portman's house. Oh wow! And the Space Knights persuade Natalie Portman to join their cult and come to the Sand Planet together with them. The Sand Planet, and it's here that we get our first taste of the best actor in all of Star Wars, Sand! The Space Frogs talk to Space Ghost, and we find out that he has an apprentice who goes by the name of Red Space Ghost. The Space Knights find out that the Sand Planet sucks and they want to leave, but they can't leave because their engine is broken, so they buy a new one from a flying monkey. And it turns out that the engine comes with a slave, free of charge. Hell yeah! The slave's name is Anakin, and he gets to come with the Space Knights on the ship, where he meets Natalie Portman. This is of course a setup for our love triangle between Anakin, Natalie Portman, and Sand. Once the Space Knights arrive at their home planet, they have a little chat with the Space Knight Council, the black guy from Pulp Fiction, and Shrek. They think that Anakin should be trained as a Space Knight because he looks really cool in a robe later in the movie. But then they realize that Jake Lloyd is a bad actor, and he cannot be a Space Knight after all. Meanwhile, Natalie Portman is like, "Hey Space Frogs, you send droids to my house. Not cool, man." And the Space Frogs are like, "What droids?" And then Senator Palpatine is like, "That Chancellor is fake and gay. Maybe I should be the Chancellor." But it turns out that Natalie Portman thinks that Senator Palpatine is the one who's fake and gay. Plus, she totally forgot her purse back home, so she decides that she needs to go home and get it. So Liam Neeson and Ewan McGregor are like, hell yeah, racism! We're coming with you to Naboo so we can kill some droids and we're gonna use the space lizards as our slaves to fight for us! And they both say that in unison, which is very strange. And then the war between the droids and the space lizards break out. And the Space Knights get a surprise, to be sure, but a welcome one. From Red Space Ghost. Meanwhile, Anakin accidentally sets off the sound system, which means that the Space Knights and Red Space Ghost will have to have a dance-off. To the death! And Red Space Ghost danced so hard that Liam Neeson had a stroke and died. And Ewan McGregor isn't too happy about that, so he kills him with his fancy glow stick. And then the Space Lizards win over the droids. And Shrek reveals that he always thought that Liam Neeson was fake and gay, so that's why he couldn't train Anakin. But now that he's dead, Ewan McGregor can train him as much as he wants. This of course means that Anakin can wear a robe and look really cool. And Sam